Lynette, and I had a similar question from Catherine about sexual assault of a child who now as an adult seeks help with weight loss. Is it similar to post-traumatic stress? Ooh, there's a lot of stuff in there, isn't it, question-wise? Okay. Someone who's been sexually assaulted as a child, okay, and they've got weight, they had problem with weight loss. Okay, well, trauma is trauma, right? So if it's sexual assault, it's traumatic, yes. I don't understand really the context of the weight loss thing here, but I'm assuming what you're saying is this adult wants to lose weight but she had been sexually assaulted when she was younger. Well, you see a lot of symptoms. Let's look at weight loss here. The symptoms of being overweight or pretty much smoking too much or anxiety or any lot of symptoms, they're ways of coping with something else. It's almost like the client has chosen this particular problem in the here and now as a therapy to deal with something that happened earlier. So let's assuming this is what you're talking about here. You've got a client who wants to lose weight, but they're not succeeding at it, and the subject of sexual abuse comes up from the past. Well, certainly looking unattractive, looking overweight in the client's mind would be a way of avoiding getting interest from someone who might be abusive, sexually abusive. So you can almost see this as a kind of client's non-appropriate way to avoid sexual abuse. Even though the sexual abuse happened as a child, it's a learned behavior. The synaptic connections, remember that, the hardwiring continues and affects the adult. And the adult finds an easy way, even not an appropriate way, but an easy way to avoid ever being in that kind of context. So to lose weight, you have to deal with the sexual abuse, with the hardwiring, and change that. So again, you can do two things. You can look at how the brain is maintaining that particular problem. Put the weight loss to one side for the moment, because 9 times out of 10, that will take care of itself. If you deal with the reason for it being there. Remember, the weight loss is therapy for the client. The overweight is therapy. Okay. So it'll deal with itself if you focus on abuse. Now, it's a complicated matter focusing on abuse, and we could go into lots and lots of details about abreactions and all the things that can go wrong, and where you stand legally and all of this stuff. But I don't want to go into that here now, but I'm just talking about how you would work with these two problems generally. You need to resolve the sexual abuse either by looking at how the brain's maintaining the experience, or going back and using regression and reframing it in some way. The problem with reframing sexual abuse is the abuser may have been someone who was meant to give love, and there was confusion about abuse and love for the child when they were young. And that becomes complicated, because then to erase or rewrite what happened, the client is having to let go of the love component that person should have given them. And it's like, the person's there as an abuser, but you wipe them out of your mind, and the person who's meant to be giving you love also gets wiped out of your mind. And so there's a feeling of double loss. In fact, loss of yourself in that relationship, loss of a parent, let's say, or somebody who's close, who should be giving love. So it's a complex matter. And as I say, we need a lot more time to deal with that. But they're the two ways you can deal with it. I always prefer to go for what I think is the quickest route first, and see what happens. So I will prefer to go with how the brain's maintaining the actual problem. Okay. And then look at what happens if we work on that. And if that doesn't work well enough, then we'll dig around and maybe go back and do some regression work. So that's how I would talk about that. So in a sense, it is a bit similar to post-traumatic stress, of course. It's a traumatic experience, and it's replaying itself. And that's how I'd also handle post-traumatic stress, in fact, in the same way.